Welcome back to Spreading the Floor. My name is Nigel Coop.
My name is Nigel Fernandez.
And this episode, we're going to be talking about the NBA clamping down on tampering with some could say kind of harsh measures or unjustified measures. Bunch of, it seems like, movement in the player scene. Some injuries, some trade rumors, some trade shutdowns, some guys feeling like they could be, the face of a team. Pascal Siakam, I guess we could get into that first. How do you feel about that? Do you think he warrants that kind of a spot?
Well, being that he did win Most Improved last year, he did step up his game a lot. He showed out. He did better than everyone expected him to do. Now that Kawhi's gone, he sees this as his time to be the man, take them, and prove his worth. Personally, I think as much as he did improve last year, I do think he's going to need help. I don't think that he's Kawhi Leonard who can just take it all the way. Definitely not, But I'm very interested to see what he does, and I think he's definitely going to average better numbers than he did last year.
Do you think that Kawhi not being there, I know they have still Kyle Lowry, they still have Fred VanVleet, most three-pointers made in a playoff series. Do you think he puts up the numbers that he did without Kawhi there, or do you think he kind of tampers off? Because I think without Kawhi, he could definitely be the face of that franchise. Right. When I think in terms of the core they have now, Kawhi not being there, my go-to guy is Pascal Siakam.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it was last year, his runner-up. If you're going to give the ball to Kawhi, Kawhi can do something. But when Kawhi is not doing anything, which was almost never, but Pascal Siakam would step up.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple points in the playoffs, though, that you remember where they would just double Kawhi, and he'd have to dish it off to Pascal. There was that game where Siakam put up crazy numbers, and because Kawhi just didn't have the option to do anything, and so he did show out.
That's what I'm saying.
So I do think
option.
Yeah, I do think Siakam can do something, and I do think that he can be the face of the franchise. But I do think that role still belongs to Kyle Lowry, just because he's been there longer.
You think
he's still kind of the man there. You know what I'm saying? He was there before Kawhi. He's not, before Siakam. So.
Yeah, I've heard people amongst the team through interviews kind of telling that he has a almost a leadership quality about him in the locker room. So I agree with you there. In terms of skill, though, I think I wouldn't mind seeing Siakam step up and take over that leadership role. Kyle Lowry, obviously great player, great leader, but I think it's Siakam time in Toronto.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's it's that the people who have to prove the most, definitely the Lakers and the Raptors. I think they have the most on their plate right now, the people's expectations.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do think Siakam can lead them to the playoffs. I don't see why they can't be fifth or sixth seed. No,
fifth or sixth seed.
Siakam's not a bad player at all. He's going to be having the ball the whole time. They still have a very good bench.
That's true. That's true. Did you hear about Memphis, Iggy going to Memphis or the Lakers? Potentially.
Possibly, yeah. Potentially. So what did that say about Iguodala? Andre Iguodala will not report to the Memphis Grizzlies.
In a weird twist of events.
Right, after they went back and forth for a while.
He seemed like he was locked in for a little bit, and then I get that in my timeline, and I'm like, I thought he was, but apparently, they came to a mutual agreement that he wasn't going to stick with them. So what do you think he adds to the Lakers?
Well, he adds tremendous defense, much needed defense to the Lakers. He's a great role player.
Doesn't he? He runs shooting guard and small forward, right?
Yeah.
So that could help with that little guard problem they have.
Absolutely, yeah. And he doesn't. The only problem is he doesn't shoot threes, so there's still going to be a spacing problem with the Lakers. But I don't think he was why would he want to be on the Memphis Grizzlies? He wouldn't He wouldn't be doing anything there really.
It's true. I mean, they have. I've been looking at the Memphis Grizzlies. They kind of have an underrated team, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you're a guy like Andre Iguodala and you're a veteran, I don't want to be on that team in my last years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I understand.
What is he going to add to that team?
Well, he would. I feel like he would add a lot in terms of he played as a sixth man for.
Yeah.
So he'd probably get a starting spot.
Yeah.
For the Grizzlies, but I think he could add a lot to that team. But if I'm Iguodala, I'm going for success right now, considering that I don't know how long he's been playing in the league, but I'm sure I think he might be a veteran.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's on his way out.
So he's on his way out. If I'm Iguodala, I'm thinking like, listen, let me get as much success as I can get right now, and go into a team like the Grizzlies that has a lot of potential, in my personal opinion, with Jarrett Jackson. You know what I'm saying? The center, obviously coming up, we're going to see how my guy Ja Morant plays.
Right.
And a few other key players. I just, I personally, I agree. I don't know why he'd go to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he's 35 years old. He was drafted in 2004. I don't think the Grizzlies are, the place where he wants to finish his career.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
All right, what else we got here?
Anyways, so we covered Andre Iguodala. Now, would you like to go up and talk about the Thunder, your team?
The Thunder, for
Chris Paul?
Chris Paul not wanting a trade, or he wants a... Well, I know Sam Presti is trying to trade him, or is hoping to. At first, it seemed like they were going to try to field a... Like, it seemed like Sam Presti wanted to have success now, and I get like Thunder fans like me were like, "Whoa, dude!
Yeah,
like we have good drafting.
Right?
Don't be competitive now.
Yeah.
Keep like the young guys around. Sell the old guys off for either draft picks or maybe future pieces. Other younger guys.
Right.
Don't do this." And it seems like he kind of came to his senses. I don't know what you have right there.
Well, the Heat, they were looking to trade Chris Paul to the Heat. It doesn't look like it's going to go through.
Okay, so what would do you know what OKC would get for him?
No. I mean, well, it's right now. It looks like it's not going to happen. So.
So it doesn't really matter anyway.
Well, it just doesn't look like there's a market for Chris Paul. Like they replaced him on the Rockets. I mean, he fit in there, but like where else?
Do you think? Well, I mean, I think Chris Paul got a bad rap on the Rockets. I think he's a great player in his own regard. I'm excited to see him play for OKC. I think his talents were negated when you're playing with a guy like Harden.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was overlooked.
He's gonna be overlooked. Is he getting older? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting that, but I think he could still do something. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
He can make a difference.
I could see some teams, wanting to pick him up. Maybe a solid starter, if not coming off the bench, if they already have some talent in their starting five. I mean, it's Chris Paul we're talking about.
Yeah.
Leadership. Again, like I talked on the last podcast, leadership. He spaces the floor. He can pass. You know what I'm saying? He knows plays pretty like the back of his hand. So, I think people somehow overlooked him in that 2018 season.
Right. No, I know they don't have enough money to do this, but how would you feel about seeing Chris Paul on the Lakers with LeBron?
That would be
interesting.
Very interesting.
Right.
Because, I mean, LeBron is already off the charts in terms of... If you talk about... All right, so... You talk about the impact that just Anthony Davis and LeBron James have on a team, right? Their size, their athleticism. They're two elite guys.
Right.
You throw a guy like Chris Paul in there, he's diming.
Yeah.
Everything, LeBron is diming. Like, that would be ridiculous.
Right. Not only that, they have chemistry together already.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't they play? They played in, Team USA. So, if that team would be ridiculous.
And they have a hole. They have Rondo as point guard, but having Chris Paul wouldn't hurt. I'd take Chris Paul over Rondo.
I'm saying that Chris Paul would be definitely an upgrade. It's just that guard problem that really bugs me about the Lakers, which is why I think the Clips would take it. Just because the Clips, that guard problem.
I do think the Clips have an advantage this year. Definitely. And going on to the Celtics, the future for Jaylen Brown on the Celtics is uncertain.
Why is he not?
We don't know for sure. It says there's a slim chance.
He might not sign.
Yeah, agree to an extension.
I don't know, man. I think at this point they played in FIBA.
Right.
Right. Like they all have that experience at a higher level. Definitely that counts for something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like if they're having that. And I'll say it, I said it once, I'll say it again, like the courts are smaller, it's more physical. You can get a lot of experience and gain a lot from playing over, at FIBA. So I think the fact that, they all play together, especially with the new addition, Kemba.
Yeah.
They all play together. They all got time to gel. One of my concerns coming to the season before the FIBA tournament was that these guys were a new team, relatively. I mean, if you add Kemba in there, he's a ball-dominant guard, kind of like Kyrie was. Obviously, Kyrie was a little bit more of a cancer in the locker room, but I was like, I don't know if the chemistry is going to be all there. You know what I mean? But
right.
I mean,
they had a chance to get to
right,
yeah
to
they
flesh
get
it
to
out.
get to know each other and run some plays.
So,
and
like, do you think the
I don't
they're
think he
gonna
should.
pan out?
I don't think he should leave.
Definitely not. No, I think yeah. Let me get back on topic. I think
Right.
he should definitely stay. They should give him. I don't think he's worth a max,
No, definitely not.
but they should give him a good sum of money.
Depending on how much he's asking for. I mean, like, because we've seen dynasties become, ruined because people asking for too much money. I think he should just stay where he's at right now. He's a good position on a winning team, and
Yeah.
it's not too often in the NBA that you get a chance to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I think sometimes guys do take the money over success.
Yep.
But it seems like like I've been listening to some interviews, and it seems like all these Celtics players have a good head on their shoulders. Like
Yeah.
they're happy with where they're at. I think it was Jason Tatum was talking about how with Kyrie out of there, like they're all kind of gelling and molding. They're all happy to be there. So I mean, if he accepts that whatever they offer him, I think that could be an elite squad. Philly's there though, so that's
Right.
going to be. I'm a little hesitant. I have Philly.
They have
coming out of the East.
competition, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, also Terry Rozier went to the Hornets. It seems like if Jaylen Brown leaves, we're gonna see a trend of Celtics players, wanting to move on to different things.
What do you think Terry Rozier left?
Well, he didn't think he was being, he didn't think that he was at his maximum. Like
Oh, paid.
they weren't using him to what
Oh.
he wanted to. Like he wanted to be used more.
Well, good luck on the
Celtics,
Hornets
and he was
now.
coming up. Well, now he's gonna be used a lot. He's gonna be
On a trash team.
he's gonna be filling the shoes of Kemba, which are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah. I think Terry Rozier's worth it. Definitely a good pickup for the Hornets. They overpaid for him, but I mean, at this point,
At this point, what do they have?
what do they have?
You know.
What I mean? It's not like they messed up any big situation, any big rebuild with.
Right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. They kind of just stayed stagnant with Kemba.
Oh, they were wasting his career.
They were wasting his
Completely
career. They
wasting
weren't
his
making
career.
any good drafting, options. So I mean, to me, that was just kind of like, it's kind of like with the Giants with Eli. I mean, obviously Kemba's in a lot better of a position, but like you talk about whatchamacallit? You talk about denial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, like we got Kemba, like we can compete.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
Especially now when you draft things like that.
You need to surround your main players with people who will support them.
Right. So do you think that where do you think the Celtics come in terms of ranking in the East?
Probably right below Philly.
I'd say
I'd
so.
say top 3 with Philly and Milwaukee.
You know what's funny to me? The NBA over/under has the Bucks coming first out of the East, which
Yeah.
I like. Why?
Well, they did. I mean, they did come first out last year.
Yeah, that's true.
They had a pretty competitive East last year too.
until the Raptors kind of
Well, the Raptors took over in the playoffs.
they
but-
schemed Giannis out.
Yeah, but last year Giannis got it done. He was the man on
That's true.
the best team. He got MVP, and I'd be excited to see him do it again.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
Giannis play. I just think with teams like Philly and exciting up and coming teams like Boston that have had that FIBA experience, even against Greece
Yeah,
with Giannis. I mean, like I just don't see how they're coming out first. I mean, obviously early predictions. I think the NBA season's still like a month away, but
Mhm.
I just don't personally see them coming out first. I agree with you. I think it goes Philly, Boston, and then the Bucks.
yeah.
So
Well, we got to see what Giannis does. If he decides to be in his bag again this year, then we could be seeing another first seed.
well, they gave him a supermax, which is what got the
Yeah.
Bucks in trouble with that whole tampering
Yeah,
thing. But I think they just got. See, I don't know if they should have given Giannis a supermax, and I want to get your opinion on this in a second. But personally, for me, Giannis is great. Giannis is a key piece to any team.
Right,
Giannis could go to any team, point differential through the roof.
right.
He's ridiculous. He takes 2 steps, he's at the rim.
Yeah.
He's dunking. He's like throwing no-look dimes. Like, I'd say give him a really good chunk of money, but you need to get something around him.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
they got Chris Middleton, Bledsoe, or is he? No, he's playing for the Pelicans now. They got Middleton.
They got Middleton.
Who else? They got both. They got both. What's their names? Lopez's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brook Lopez, who's also emerging as a very good stretch.
That's true.
Center, yeah.
But I think I think they need one more key guy to get it done.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
In the playoffs, definitely.
Yeah.
The thing is just like how do you not give a guy like Giannis the supermax? It's kind of like I understand what you're saying, and there's a part of me that agrees with you, but like the man came in and dominated the NBA in a way that we haven't seen since Shaquille O'Neal.
Definitely.
So I mean, like how do you? And he is the face of Milwaukee. He is the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of our generation, to Milwaukee at least.
I'd say of the entire league right now.
Yeah. So I mean, like how do you not give a guy like that the supermax? That's how I look at it.
It's tough. I could see it, like you said, both ways.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
could see it going both ways. I mean, a talent like that, man, it's crazy.
Right.
I mean, I hope I have the privilege to see that guy play live because some of the stuff he does is ridiculous. You want to talk about Orlando?
Sure, we talk about Orlando.
So Markelle Fultz, $12 million contract extension.
Absolutely.
They've got what looks to be like. I was looking at their team the other day. They have DJ Augustine. They have him. They have Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vukovic. I think I'm saying that right. Markelle Fultz. He's been working on his jumper.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited.
Getting his weight up.
And yeah, we saw clips. They released some clips of his jumper. He still shoots like an injured player though.
Yeah, I don't know
he's
about
he's leaning a little bit forward.
Yeah.
Using a lot of wrist, which comes with, dealing with an injury.
Something to me is not right about his jump shot. I mean, it's going in, but I don't know.
It looks forced and unnatural.
It looks forced and unnatural, but if it goes in, it goes in. I think I was looking at the numbers. Their defense is pretty solid. Orlando, they were 11th in the league last year. Golden State being 9th, if that gives you any idea.
Yeah. Wow.
What sticks out to me then is they need a Golden State-esque offense.
Yep.
So their offense, there was not a team on there was not a player on their team last year that didn't average below 10 points. At least through the starters.
Right.
So if Markelle Fultz can get that, and I assume he'd be coming off the bench.
At first, I would assume so, yeah.
I don't see why that point differential couldn't go a little bit higher, and maybe put them. I know they snuck into the playoffs last year. I don't see why they couldn't make some noise. Obviously, they're in the West. No, they're in the East.
They're in the East.
They're in the East. So.
Yeah, they have a little bit easier competition. Well, if they sign Markelle to an extension, they must have faith in him. I think they're assuming he's gonna grow out of this stump that he stumbled upon.
The freshman slump, yeah.
Yeah, and the injury and everything. They're thinking he's gonna come out and emerge as their franchise player. Do you see that happening?
Man, time will tell.
Yeah.
I was reading, nobody's really heard a lot from Markelle Fultz after he kind of fell off.
Right.
I do think that if he can become the face of that franchise, that's exactly what Orlando needs.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They need that guy.
Mm-hmm.
If Markelle Fultz can do that, perfect.
And he wasn't doing anything on Philly.
He wasn't.
They didn't need him.
They really didn't.
They didn't.
So I think if he can, obviously easier conference, a little bit easier, except for the couple teams at top. He can flourish. If he flourishes, becomes the face of the franchise. I don't see why, he couldn't benefit Orlando greatly.
Well, who else do they have? Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, he's good for a jumper, but he's mostly a kind of crash the glass type of guy.
Yeah, they don't,
They don't really have that three except for Vukovic, I think. Or I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Vucevic, yeah.
Vucevic?
Something along those lines.
DJ Augustine, he's good for a three.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
they'll have spacing, which is good for
They'll
Markelle
space.
because his shot isn't that great. He can drive in.
I think, well, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm excited. They have a young core. I'm always excited to see a young core.
A lot of young cores in the East. A lot of young cores over the NBA.
Yeah.
NBA is a lot more, spaced out.
A lot of up and coming.
Even after that, crazy stretch in the offseason where everyone was kind of making big money moves,
Yep.
Now you start to see it maybe more on the smaller market teams like Orlando. You know what I'm saying? Some up-and-coming small guys, some little purchases that don't really necessarily make the front page, but they're still out there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So dude, I'm so excited to get to this season. I can't wait.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the clock's ticking down. This is the time of the season where they're getting ready for the start of the season, and all the teams are scrambling to do the stuff that they haven't done yet. So
I think camp started
today
or yesterday. I think it was yesterday that people were reporting to team camp.
Yep.
Kobe, actually, I remember reading this. I want to bring this up. Kobe had a private camp in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I heard too.
Paul George, Kawhi,
Kyrie.
I forget who else. It was only like 6 or 7 guys, but that's ridiculous.
Guys that could be very dangerous.
Guys that are already very dangerous. Like, if you talk about the Clips now, like what?
Yeah, no.
Like ridiculous.
Already,
Why do you need Kobe? Like, don't give him Kobe.
Now they have Kobe training, Mamba mentality.
Yeah, have Kobe like visit Orlando or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Do you want to talk about Washington?
Yeah, I mean, well, they're going into rebuild mode. Bradley Beal's not expected to sign an extension with the Wizards.
So who does that leave them? Otto Porter and Wall?
They got John Wall still. I don't think John Wall's staying there either, especially coming off his injury. I think they're just gonna go into rebuild mode. They haven't really done. They were a semi-successful team through the 2010s, and they made some noise. They made a splash, but they never really had any major success. And I think now it's time to go back and be like, all right, well, we did that. That chapter's over, and now it's time to start again.
Right.
So I don't disagree with what they're doing. I don't see them moving up with Wall and Beal, unless they like sign some crazy free agent, which just isn't going to happen.
I don't even think they should sign necessarily.
I think they should get rid of everyone and get draft picks.
That's the way to go for that.
Keep
team.
Otto Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Keep what they have now. Get rid of Beal. Beal could do better things on like the Lakers or something.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be very good.
Where do you think he goes, Bradley Beal? Or where do you think he'd be like a good fit?
Well, he has a 3, so obviously I think he would fit in Los Angeles. He might also do well on Milwaukee.
Milwaukee would be great.
Milwaukee would be great with him. I don't think that there's much room for him in Boston. Maybe Philly.
Philly could use him.
I'm thinking about the big markets right now. Where do you see him going?
I mean, where do I see him, or do you think me like
where do you think he would fit?
I'm thinking about teams that need like a backcourt right now. Does he play shooting guard?
Yes.
Teams are in need of a backcourt. Let's see. He could go to the Knicks. Knicks are just in need of someone.
Yeah, Knicks are in need of a lot. But what about the Heat? He could do well in the Heat.
Who do they have at the backcourt? Jimmy Butler at point. And then
Butler at point. Do they have Jimmy Butler at point?
I think so. Am I remembering that right? Hold on. I'll check the lineups. I don't know why this is not working. I don't know. They could use him in Miami, definitely.
I think he'd do well in Miami.
I thought Jimmy Butler was a point guard. Am I incorrect about that?
You might be wilding right now.
I might be wilding.
You might be bugging.
I might be bugging. But I do believe that Miami's in need of a good backcourt.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. Oh no, Jimmy plays shooting guard. That's what it is, because he replaced what's his name, Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
So he could run. I don't see any reason why he couldn't run point.
I think he'd do it well on Miami. He'd probably wouldn't hurt. He'd probably help the Raptors too if he went there.
Yeah, he could be a good fit, because then they'd have Siakam, Kyle Lowry at point guard.
Right, and then you have Beal spreading the floor.
And he
could slash.
And then they have, like, obviously at center, they'd have Marc Gasol.
Yep.
And then I know they have a lot of depth at center over there. Yeah, that'd be a good addition there. I don't see why I couldn't go there.
Yeah, or send them to the Rockets or something. They don't really need Bradley Beal.
Yeah, no, they got a Harden and what's
Westbrook.
his name?
Yeah,
Westbrook. Although Westbrook doesn't really have a 3.
According to last year, no, he did not. But I don't know. He probably wouldn't go work, because they're already going to be so ball dominant, both Westbrook and Harden, that he'd probably just be there for the sake of being there.
Well, I think if they have him coming off the bench, that would also probably add to the score differential.
A second squad.
You know what I'm saying? A solid thing. Yeah.
But I don't think he wants to be in a second squad.
No, definitely. Yeah. Especially because he was asking the Wizards for a lot of money.
Right.
If I can remember correctly, he was asking for some crazy sum, and they were going to pay it, and I guess now they kind of backed out.
A 3-year, $112 million extension.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
He was looking for, I believe.
That's a lot of money.
He's not going to get that with the Wizards. I don't think they should give him that.
No, they just like you said, they gotta just gut the core.
They gotta.
That's the way to go.
They gotta gut it and start over.
No more big money, like stupid contracts. Just let it ride. We could talk about the 2020 draft class.
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball projected by ESPN me slide this
Yeah,
over
right.
here.
His projections went way up. His stock went way up.
Ever since he went to the NBL, they have him projected at third behind. Let me see here. I think it's Cole Anthony at number 1.
Yep.
And then LaMelo at number 3. Let's see. I'm on the NBAC Sports. James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards. Oh, RJ Hampton.
It is very early to be talking about the 2020 draft class.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I don't think anyone should talk about 2020 draft class until at least after March Madness.
That's true. I just think I just wanted to get your opinion about where.
No, I'm excited for LaMelo Ball. I want to see where he goes.
Yeah. Where do you think it would be a good team?
He's proven himself. He's doing very well. He's putting up solid numbers. He's not putting up superstar numbers, but he doesn't have to. He's playing a very solid point guard.
He just paces. I like the way he paces the game.
He paces the game great. He's setting the tone. He's passing first, and he's also getting his shots off.
Yeah.
He's balancing it out great. I'm very excited. I don't see why he's not going to go top 3.
Definitely top 3.
Yeah.
What else we got here? We could talk about Durant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his comments as of late. He's been talking about how I guess he doesn't really feel like the game loves him the way he loves the game. Which is, I mean, I have a personal gripe about this, being that I'm an OKC fan.
Right.
Durant, you left OKC, went to Golden State, didn't tell anyone on OKC about it, didn't tell any of the management. People got mad at you, rightfully.
Right.
You got into arguments with people on Twitter.
Talk to him. Don't
It's
talk
hard
to me.
So you got with arguments with people on Tinder, with people on Instagram using burner accounts. You come out now. You're a great player. You come out now saying that, oh well, people are burning my jerseys, and this is after you left Golden State without telling anyone either.
Right.
People are burning my jerseys. They're showing them to my house. They're taking videos. Everyone's being so mean to me. Like, I don't know what I did. Listen, being fair and considerate.
Yep.
I think people shouldn't be burning his jerseys, right?
Yeah.
People shouldn't be showing up at his house. He's very sensitive. With this being said, he's very sensitive. Let his ego get in the way. He's a great player in his own regard. You gotta understand how important some sports are to some people and some teams.
Yep.
Like I don't know why he didn't expect this kind of backlash. If you're gonna leave somewhere and not tell anyone,
right?
You know what I mean?
Well, he was so loved on the Thunder.
He was so loved. Like I love watching him, and he kind of just left, and it was like, dude,
right?
What the hell? Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, KD. It's not that you're a bad basketball player. It's just that you're not a very likable guy.
You're just not a likable dude.
Yeah, you're a great basketball player. You're just a bad person, and that's fine. But
the fact
that's
that
why people hate you is because you're hateable.
The fact that you can go to a team and not talk to the coach while you're there, you know what I mean? Like, and get into arguments, and if someone says something you don't like, you immediately have to go after them. It just shows like your maturity as a player. I don't think his maturity is where it should be, and
the way he handles himself.
Yeah, and I
obviously a great player.
No, like I think top five generational. Like,
yep.
But I read something. I was watching First Take, and they were saying they were posturizing about do you think that he'd be happy going to the Nets and kind of building up to a championship? I want to get your opinion on it in a second, but I don't think personally that he'll be happy anywhere he goes, because there'll always be, with a guy like Durant, and I know I can relate it to people that I know in real life. I'm not going to name names, but when you're in that frame of mind,
right,
and you're only seeing the negative, nothing's ever going to be enough.
Absolutely.
So that's always going to be Durant's Achilles. You know what I mean?
Besides his real Achilles.
Besides his real Achilles. That's going to always be his downfall, is he always sees the criticism instead of he has so many fans.
Yeah.
Like, if I check his Instagram page, it's all like,
oh my God, he's loved in China.
He's loved in China. Yeah.
They love him in China.
Like, I've seen his comments. It's like, get better soon, like with the rehabilitation with the Achilles, but he's always just going to see the bad.
Absolutely. And the thing is that it's not going to get better, because he's going this Brooklyn Nets team is going to underperform. KD's not going to be here for a year, and then when he is back, he's going to be coming off injury, and for the rest of his career, he's going to get unlimited minutes, Kyrie again was disappointing last year. He still has a chance to prove himself, but then again, if we go off trends, what's happening? This Brooklyn team is going to disappoint, and Kevin Durant is not going to like that at all. And his reputation is only going to get worse from there, which is how I see the future playing out right now.
Well, actually, I would respectfully disagree.
Yep.
I think, while I do agree that Kyrie and KD both coming off of injury, both coming off shaky season. Well, actually, no, KD had a great season, but Kyrie had shaky season coming off injury. KD's coming off an injury, be it it's his non-dominant Achilles.
Yeah. And
people usually like that. They come back and they're not too affected. It's more people with the dominant Achilles that have the problems coming back. So I don't think he's going to be like 75%, if you ask me, of his former self, which is enough.
Yeah.
With a guy that can literally shoot over people, has an unguardable post move. I think you got Joe Harris. You got bench on the depth. Joe Harris has FIBA experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? Spencer Dinwiddie. And you got a stacked bench.
Right.
I don't see why they can't do something, especially when KD and Kyrie come back and add that star power factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, like you said, when they come back, and we're talking about years. We're not talking about months. We're talking about KD's not coming back next season. The first NBA game he's going to play is going to be in 2020 and the start of the 2020-2021 season.
This year, yeah. I agree with
then
you.
he's going to be coming off injury.
And that's going to be a little shaky.
And then the season after that, he's still going to be still considered coming off injury. Then we're at the fourth year. Their contracts are ending. They both have to make a decision if they're returning or not. They're both getting older. It's going to be the last major trade of their career before
they kind of teeter out.
Before KD, at least. Yeah, KD's older than Kyrie, but that's just how I see it.
No, you definitely you put it in perspective.
Yeah.
And also, like, I were you saying that this year the Nets would underachieve?
This year.
I agree with that.
The Nets are going to be disappointing.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty disappointing. I mean, they got bench depth, but
and the year after that, I think they're going to be better, but still disappointing for
yeah.
KD and Kyrie. I mean, come on, that's both. You'd expect them to be like the Warriors at that point.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm interested to see how both players. I think if they play their cards right, they could do it, but I don't know. It's definitely going to be difficult for both of them.
Definitely. I think we can. You want to call it now?
We can call it now, sure.
All right. Well, this has been a little abbreviated episode, about 30 minutes. We will see you guys next week. Sayonara.
Sayonara.